When this kid woke up in an elevator, he thought he was being brought to a summer camp, but he was about to realize it was actually a prison. He was dropped into a clearing with no memory of his past, and when he tried to make a run for it, he was met with impossibly high walls that surrounded the entire place. A group of boys just stood there and laughed at him because they all arrived the same way, memory wiped with no way out. Their leader, who's been trapped there for 3 years, laid out the one and only rule you can never break, and that rule was to never ever go through the gate into the maze. But that night, the new kids saw something that made no sense. Two guys came sprinting out of the forbidden corridor just before it closed. A stocky kid explained that they were runners, the only ones allowed inside the maze to map it out. But the new kid wasn't going to let that slide, so he marched toward the gate himself, only to get shoulder checked by the camp bully. And as he yelled at them for being insane, a thunderous groan silenced everyone. The colossal doors were sliding shut, sealing the corridor in darkness. The others warned him that no one who spends the night inside ever comes back, because after dark, the grievers wake up and no one has ever seen one and lived to tell the tale. Things got crazier when he stumbled upon one of the runners in the woods who went completely insane and attacked him. The other boys pulled the runner off and lifted his shirt, revealing grotesque sting marks and pulsing green veins. A griever's sting doesn't just kill you, it drives you mad first. So the group did something shocking. They dragged their former friend back to the gate and shoved him back into the maze to die, just before the doors sealed shut. But on the third day, the leader himself went into the maze and still hadn't returned by evening. As the giant doors began to close, everyone gave up hope, saying the rule is the rule, and once the doors move, anyone inside is already dead. But then, two silhouettes appeared, limping toward the entrance. It was the leader, unconscious and slung over the other runner's shoulder. The carrier was staggering and wasn't going to make it in time. The boys just stood there at the edge screaming for them to run faster, but too terrified to step inside and help. But just as the stone slabs were about to seal them out forever, the new kid did something completely unexpected.